We all get the same 24 hours in a day. So why does it feel like some people are running laps around the rest of us when it comes to success? What are they doing differently? It's not about luck or working non-stop without sleep. It's about how they use their time intentionally, strategically, and with purpose. In this video, we're going to dive into how the world's most successful people structure their day hour by hour, from their powerful morning rituals to their laser-focused work sessions. From the way they handle distractions to how they recharge and reset, we'll uncover the time-tested strategies that separate high performers from the average. You'll learn how they avoid burnout, make fewer decisions but better ones, and how they consistently keep learning and growing. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a student, a creative, or just someone trying to get more out of your day, the habits and mindsets we'll explore can be a game changer. So if you've ever wondered how successful people seem to have more time, more energy, and more results, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll be ready to take control of your 24 hours and start living like the high performers do. Let's dive in. Number 1, morning routines of successful people. For many high achievers, the way they start their morning is the foundation of their entire day. One of the most consistent patterns among successful individuals is their early wake-up time. Apple CEO Tim Cook famously starts his day at 3:45 a.m. to get ahead on emails and hit the gym. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is often in the gym before the sun rises, sometimes starting his workout at 4 a.m. Oprah Winfrey, though she rises a bit later around 6 a.m., dedicates the first part of her day to meditation and reflection. These early risers aren't doing it to brag about their alarm clock discipline. They're doing it because the early morning hours provide a quiet, focused, distraction-free space that's nearly impossible to find later in the day. The morning is sacred for high achievers because it offers something that the rest of the day rarely does control. During the early hours before the world begins to make demands, successful people have the opportunity to set the tone for the day, align with their goals, and engage in intentional practices that fuel both productivity and peace. It's not just about doing more, it's about starting the day with clarity and momentum. They recognize that the first hour of the day often dictates the quality of the rest. While specific routines vary, there are some common elements that appear over and over in the morning habits of the successful. Meditation or mindfulness practice is one of them. Whether it's a 10-minute breathing exercise, gratitude journaling, or guided meditation, this practice helps to clear mental clutter and improve focus. Exercise is another staple. Many successful people begin their day by getting their body moving. This could be a full gym session, like The Rock's grueling workouts, a morning run like Barack Obama's, or a simple stretch and yoga session to wake up the body. Physical activity boosts energy levels, improves mood, and jumpstarts cognitive function. Reading is also a powerful habit many high performers swear by. Warren Buffett has said he spends about 80% of his day reading, and while that's not realistic for everyone, even 10-15 minutes in the morning consuming something inspirational or educational can make a big difference. It keeps the mind sharp and exposes you to new ideas right at the start of the day. Journaling is another common tool. Whether it's writing down thoughts, affirmations, or goals for the day, this practice helps successful people reflect, set intentions, and stay connected to their larger vision. Planning is perhaps one of the most important habits of all. Many high achievers take a few moments in the morning to review their schedule, prioritize tasks, and make decisions about how they will spend their time. It's a simple act, but incredibly powerful. It's not just about listing to-dos, it's about being intentional with time, focusing on high-impact tasks, and eliminating the non-essential. These morning routines aren't about being robotic or hyper-productive from the moment you wake up. They're about building a system that supports your mental, physical, and emotional well-being so that you're not just getting through the day, but making the most of it. The consistent application of these habits is what creates a sense of momentum and confidence that carries into everything else. For viewers looking to build their own empowering morning ritual, the key is to start small and be consistent. You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. tomorrow. Instead, try waking up just 30 minutes earlier than usual and dedicating that time to one habit. Whether it's meditation, stretching, journaling, or simply sitting with a cup of coffee and planning your day. Over time, you can add new habits and tweak your routine to fit your lifestyle and energy levels. The most important part is to create a morning that grounds you and sets a positive tone for the rest of your day. Success begins not just with action, but with intention. And your morning is the perfect place to begin. Number 2, deep work and time blocking. One of the most powerful strategies successful people use to maximize their time is the concept of deep work, a term popularized by author and computer science professor Cal Newport. Deep work refers to the ability to focus without distraction on cognitively demanding tasks. It's in these deep work sessions that true progress is made. Books are written, complex problems are solved, and innovative ideas are born. Newport argues that in an age of constant distraction, the ability to concentrate deeply is becoming both increasingly rare and more valuable. For successful people, deep work isn't just a strategy. It's a non-negotiable habit that separates meaningful accomplishments from shallow busy work. To harness the power of deep work, many high performers use a technique called time blocking. Instead of relying on to-do lists or reacting to their day as it unfolds, they proactively schedule blocks of uninterrupted time for focused work. Elon Musk, for example, is known for breaking his day into 5-minute segments, assigning each block a specific task or meeting. This level of granularity may sound extreme, but it allows him to maintain control over his day and ensure that time is used with maximum efficiency. Time blocking forces you to be intentional with your hours, helps reduce context switching, and creates a framework that protects your attention. Successful people also embrace the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle, which states that roughly 80% of results come from 20% of efforts. The idea is simple. Not all tasks are created equal. Some are disproportionately impactful, while others may feel urgent, but offer little in terms of real results. High achievers constantly identify which tasks deliver the highest returns and make those their priority. Instead of spending their day reacting to emails or attending unnecessary meetings, they focus their energy on the few things that truly move the needle. They protect their time fiercely, often saying no to low-value tasks in favor of deep strategic work. Distraction management is a core skill for anyone serious about using their time wisely. Successful people are not immune to distractions. They just create systems to minimize them. One of the first things they do is manage their relationship with technology. Phones are often placed in another room or turned on Do Not Disturb during deep work sessions. Email is checked at designated times, rather than constantly throughout the day. Meetings are trimmed down or eliminated altogether if they don't serve a clear purpose. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, for instance, is known for limiting unnecessary meetings and insists that any meeting he attends must have a clear agenda and a small group. The fewer distractions they face, the more energy they can dedicate to the work that actually matters. To support their focused work habits, successful people also rely on productivity tools and apps that align with their systems. Notion is a favorite for many. It allows users to build customizable dashboards for task management, planning, and knowledge organization. Google Calendar is essential for time blocking and visualizing how time is allocated across the day. Some people use Pomodoro timers, a technique that involves working in short, intense bursts, typically 25 minutes, followed by a short break. This helps maintain focus and avoid burnout. Tools like Forest gamify the experience of staying off your phone, while apps like Freedom can block access to distracting websites during work hours. But at the end of the day, the tools are only as effective as the discipline behind them. The real differentiator is mindset. Successful people treat their time as their most valuable asset. They recognize that being busy is not the same as being productive. They prioritize depth over speed, quality over quantity, and they build their schedules around this philosophy, ensuring that their most important work gets done when their energy and focus are at their peak. If there's one takeaway for viewers, it's this: deep work isn't about cramming more into your day. It's about creating space for the work that matters most. By adopting time blocking, filtering tasks through the 80-20 lens, and fiercely defending their attention from distractions, successful people are able to do more in a few focused hours than most accomplish in an entire day of multitasking. You don't need to overhaul your entire schedule overnight, but even carving out 1 or 2 deep work blocks per day can dramatically improve your output and bring you closer to your goals. The key is to be intentional, consistent, and fiercely protective of your most precious resource, your attention. Number 3, decision fatigue and automating routine tasks. Decision fatigue is a psychological phenomenon that refers to the deteriorating quality of decisions made by an individual after a long session of decision-making. In simpler terms, the more decisions you make throughout the day, no matter how small, the harder it becomes to make good ones. This concept plays a massive role in productivity, and successful people are keenly aware of its impact. Every time you decide what to wear, what to eat, or how to respond to a trivial request, you're using up mental energy. And when that energy runs low, your ability to make smart, strategic decisions suffers. That's why many high achievers design their lives to minimize unnecessary choices, especially during the first few hours of the day. One of the most iconic examples of this comes from Steve Jobs. The Apple co-founder was known for wearing the same outfit, a black turtleneck, jeans and sneakers, every single day. It wasn't a fashion statement, it was a productivity strategy. Jobs understood that even a seemingly small decision like choosing what to wear could drain mental energy. He preferred to reserve for important creative work. He wasn't alone in this approach. Barack Obama once mentioned that he only wore gray or blue suits while in office to cut down on decision-making. Mark Zuckerberg is also known for his wardrobe simplicity, often donning the same gray t-shirt for the same reason. The logic is simple. Automate the routine so you can focus on the meaningful, high performers. Often develop systems and habits that reduce the number of decisions they need to make in a given day. Meal prepping is a popular example. It eliminates the daily what's for lunch or dinner dilemma. With meals planned and prepped in advance, there's no need to decide or spend extra time cooking each day. Similarly, many successful people adopt capsule wardrobes, a small, curated selection of interchangeable clothing pieces that make dressing each morning effortless. Workflows and checklists also play a huge role. Rather than reinventing the wheel each day, successful individuals create repeatable systems for tasks they do often, from how they manage emails to how they prepare for meetings or publish content. By simplifying and streamlining these routine decisions, successful people conserve their mental energy for the moments that truly require it, like negotiating deals, solving complex problems, or creating original work. This strategy also reduces stress and increases consistency. When fewer choices need to be made, there's less opportunity for doubt or second guessing, which can be paralyzing and time-consuming in itself. It's also easier to build positive habits when you reduce friction. For instance, laying out workout clothes the night before can increase the likelihood of exercising in the morning, because the decision is already made in advance. The broader principle behind this approach is that your willpower and decision-making capacity are finite. Successful people respect that limitation and build lives that protect their cognitive bandwidth. Instead of wasting time and energy on the trivial, they create systems that allow them to operate on autopilot for routine matters, so their brain power is saved for high-leverage decisions. And this isn't about removing spontaneity. It's about being intentional with what you spend your mental energy on. By limiting decision fatigue and automating the routine, you can increase your clarity, boost your productivity, and ensure that when the big decisions come, you're bringing your sharpest mind to the table. Number 4, continuous learning and self-development. One of the most defining traits of successful people is their relentless commitment to learning. In a fast-paced world where knowledge is constantly evolving, staying still is the same as falling behind. High achievers understand that personal and professional growth hinges on continuous learning, and they prioritize it, no matter how packed their schedules may be. Whether through books, audiobooks, or podcasts, successful individuals carve out time each day to feed their minds and expand their understanding of the world. They know that learning is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Reading has long been a cornerstone habit among the world's most accomplished individuals. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, has said that he reads 500 pages a day and spends about 80% of his working hours with his nose in a book. He once advised, read 500 pages like this every day. That's how knowledge works. It builds up like compound interest. Bill Gates is another voracious reader, reportedly going through around 50 books a year and taking detailed notes on what he reads. Gates even dedicates think weeks to isolated reading and reflection. The late Charlie Munger, Buffett's longtime business partner, famously said, "In my whole life, I have known no wise people who didn't read all the time. None. Zero." Of course, successful people don't just read to collect facts. They read to develop perspective, deepen insight, and sharpen decision-making. The goal is to absorb ideas, challenge assumptions, and continually refine their thinking. For those with especially demanding schedules, audiobooks and podcasts have become essential tools. They allow for learning on the go while commuting, working out, or even doing household chores. Podcasts featuring thought leaders, entrepreneurs, and experts in various fields provide an efficient way to stay current on trends, hear diverse viewpoints, and gain inspiration without interrupting the flow of the day. What sets successful people apart is not just that they value learning, but that they make it a daily habit. It's woven into their routines, just like brushing their teeth or going for a run. They often keep books by their bedside, subscribe to newsletters that challenge their thinking, or block off time on their calendar for self-development. Learning isn't treated as something they'll do when they have time. It's something they prioritize because they understand its long-term payoff. They view the mind like a muscle. It only grows stronger through regular exercise. Fitting learning into a busy day doesn't require hours of study. Successful people use micro-learning strategies, grabbing knowledge in small, consistent doses. 10 pages in the morning, a podcast episode during lunch, a few chapters before bed. Over time, these small efforts compound into a vast reservoir of knowledge that informs better choices, fuels creativity, and sets them apart from the competition. Many also take notes or reflect on what they've learned, reinforcing the material and connecting it to their goals. Ultimately, the commitment to continuous learning is about more than gaining an edge. It's about cultivating a mindset of growth. Successful people are curious by nature. They ask questions, seek out new ideas, and never assume they know it all. They invest in their intellect the way others might invest in stocks, knowing that the dividends will show up in ways that touch every part of their life. The message is clear. If you want to level up in life or business, start by feeding your mind every single day. Number 5, health, wellness, and mindset. Success isn't just about hustle, strategy, or talent. It's deeply rooted in health and mindset. High performers know that if they want to show up powerfully in their work, they have to take care of their bodies and minds first. That's why health isn't an afterthought for successful people. It's a core pillar of their lifestyle. They recognize that optimal performance begins with sleep, movement, nourishment, and mental clarity. These aren't nice-to-haves, they're non-negotiables that support every other goal they're chasing. Sleep, for instance, is one of the most underrated productivity tools out there. While the hustle culture often glorifies sleepless nights, science and experience both show that chronic sleep deprivation leads to poor decision-making, emotional instability, and decreased cognitive function. Successful people understand the importance of sleep, discipline, going to bed, and waking up at consistent times, minimizing screen exposure before bed, and treating rest as a performance enhancer, not a luxury. Jeff Bezos, for example, has said that getting 8 hours of sleep is a priority because it helps him make high-quality decisions. Ariana Huffington, who once collapsed from exhaustion, now champions sleep as essential to leadership and creativity. Exercise is another daily habit that successful individuals rarely compromise on. It's not just about staying fit, it's about boosting energy, sharpening focus, and enhancing mood. Physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, improves memory, and helps regulate emotions. Whether it's a rigorous gym session, a morning run, yoga, or even a brisk walk, movement is built into the routines of top performers. Richard Branson attributes much of his productivity to working out daily. Michelle Obama maintained a strict workout regimen, even while serving as First Lady, because she understood how much better she functioned, physically and mentally, when she moved regularly. Nutrition and hydration also play vital roles in maintaining peak performance. The food successful people consume fuels their brain and body. They tend to avoid excessive sugar and processed foods, instead opting for whole foods rich in nutrients. Many follow eating plans that sustain energy levels throughout the day and reduce inflammation. Hydration is equally critical. Drinking enough water keeps the body functioning optimally, supports digestion, and helps maintain mental clarity. Something as simple as starting the day with a large glass of water can set a strong tone for mental sharpness and physical alertness. Mental health is no less important than physical wellness. High achievers know that their inner state drives their outer results. That's why many incorporate mental health practices into their routines. Meditation helps them manage stress and cultivate focus. Even just 5 to 10 minutes a day of intentional breathing or mindfulness can create a noticeable shift in how they handle pressure and stay grounded. Gratitude journaling is another powerful tool, helping to reframe the mind toward positivity and abundance. Some turn to therapy or coaching, not because they're struggling, but because they value self-awareness and personal growth. They actively work on their mindset the same way they work on their muscles. All these wellness habits work together to form the foundation of sustained success. When the body is rested, fueled, and active, and when the mind is calm, focused, and resilient, everything else becomes easier. You make better decisions, communicate more effectively, and bounce back from setbacks faster. Health supports success because it amplifies your capacity to perform at a high level consistently. Successful people don't take their well-being for granted. They invest in it daily. They understand that the path to high achievement isn't paved with burnout and stress, but with balance, vitality, and intentional care. When you feel your best, you do your best. And that's why prioritizing health is one of the smartest moves anyone can make. Number 6. Evening wind down and reflection. Just as successful people start their day with intention, they end it with purpose too. The hours before bed are not simply downtime. They are a vital transition period that can deeply influence how well they rest and how prepared they feel for the day ahead. High achievers often use this time to slow down, reflect, and recalibrate. Evening routines are their way of closing the loop on the day, reinforcing positive habits, and mentally decluttering so they can enter the next day with clarity and focus. One of the most common practices among successful people at night is journaling or reflection. This doesn't have to be elaborate. Even a few lines about the day's wins, challenges, or what they're grateful for can make a big difference. It's a chance to acknowledge progress, process failures without judgment, and extract lessons. Many will also review their goals or to-do lists to see what got done, what didn't, and what needs to be moved or revised for the next day. This simple act of review helps them end the day with a sense of closure and start the next one without mental baggage. Planning tomorrow's top priorities before bed also reduces morning decision fatigue and creates a sense of momentum upon waking. Equally important is the commitment to preparing the body and mind for quality sleep. Successful people understand that restorative sleep is non-negotiable for peak performance. To support this, they often build in routines that help them disconnect from the overstimulation of modern life. That might include turning off screens an hour before bed, reading a book, dimming the lights, or engaging in a relaxing ritual like meditation, stretching, or sipping herbal tea. These cues signal to the body that it's time to wind down, making it easier to fall asleep and stay asleep. They protect this routine with the same seriousness they give to their morning rituals, because they know tomorrow's success begins tonight. Evening routines aren't just about rest, they're about intention. They allow successful people to close the day with mindfulness and begin the next one with purpose. By ending the day on their own terms, they reclaim control over their time and energy, ensuring that each day is a deliberate step toward their bigger vision. Number 7. Consistency and discipline over time. If there's one secret that ties together everything successful people do, it's this: consistency beats intensity. The most powerful habits in the world won't make a difference if they're practiced sporadically. It's not about doing something once with massive effort. It's about doing it over and over, even when it's boring, inconvenient, or hard. Successful people understand that the real magic lies in showing up daily. It's the small, repeated actions, the morning workouts, the focused work sessions, the quiet journaling, the intentional reading, that over time create exponential results. This is the principle of compound growth. Tiny improvements made consistently add up in ways that most people underestimate in the short term and are amazed by in the long term. Whether it's mastering a skill, building a business, improving health, or developing emotional resilience, the key isn't perfection, it's persistence. A single skipped workout or missed journaling session doesn't matter much on its own, but the discipline to return to the habit the next day is what separates the consistent from the inconsistent. Successful people build rituals, systems, and routines, not because they always feel like it, but because they know what's at stake. They don't rely on fleeting motivation to carry them forward. They rely on discipline, on doing what needs to be done, even when they don't feel like it. They recognize that motivation is a spark, but discipline is the engine that keeps going long after the spark fades. Discipline is also what keeps habits alive through the inevitable dips in energy, life disruptions, or creative blocks. Successful individuals anticipate these moments, not fear them. They design their environment to make the right choices easier, keeping distractions at bay, setting visual cues, batching tasks, or using accountability tools. But above all, they make a decision to keep going. They trust the process, knowing that consistency compounds in ways that effort alone never will. They embrace the grind, the repetition, the slow, often invisible progress, because they understand that greatness isn't built in a burst. It's built in layers, day after day. Ultimately, it's not the flashiest routines or the biggest goals that define long-term success. It's the ability to do simple things well and often. High performers don't aim for intensity. They aim for reliability. They play the long game, knowing that who you become is shaped less by what you do once in a while and more by what you do every single day. In the end, discipline isn't just about willpower. It's about identity. It's the quiet voice that says, "This is who I am, and this is what I do," no matter what the world throws your way. Number 8, your turn. How to apply this in your life. Now that you've seen how successful people use their 24 hours, the real question becomes, how are you using yours? The truth is, we all get the same amount of time each day, 86,400 seconds. What sets high achievers apart isn't that they have more time, but that they use it more intentionally. So before you move on with your day, take a moment to pause and reflect. Where is your time really going? Are you spending it in ways that align with your goals, values, and vision for your life? Or are you losing hours to distractions, procrastination, and autopilot routines? Start by auditing your day, not to judge yourself, but to gain clarity. Track your time for a day or two and see what patterns emerge. You might be surprised how much time slips away in small, unconscious habits. Once you're aware of where your time is going, you can start to reclaim it. Choose just 1 or 2 habits from this video to try out. Maybe it's creating a simple morning routine, scheduling a deep work session, or taking 15 minutes at night to plan tomorrow. The point isn't to overhaul your entire life overnight, but to start small, stay consistent, and build momentum. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about being intentional. Progress always beats perfection. The most successful people didn't wake up one day with flawless routines and unshakable discipline. They experimented, adjusted, and kept showing up. You can do the same. Even one better habit practiced consistently can shift your trajectory over time. Maybe you start sleeping better, thinking clearer, working more efficiently, or just feeling more in control. That alone is worth the effort. So as you move forward, challenge yourself. What's one small change you can make today to better use your 24 hours? What's one habit you're ready to commit to? Not because you have to, but because your future self will thank you for it. Success isn't just about big goals. It's about how you spend your time. Start shaping yours with intention, and you'll be amazed at how far that takes you. In the end, success isn't about doing more, it's about doing what truly matters with the time you have. The habits, Routines and mindset shifts we've discussed today are not about overwhelming yourself. They're about creating a life that's intentional, focused, and aligned with your goals. By auditing your time, prioritizing health, committing to continuous learning, and building discipline, you can start using your 24 hours in ways that propel you toward your dreams. Remember, small, consistent actions will always outweigh occasional bursts of effort. If you want to achieve more, start by doing less of what doesn't serve you and more of what truly moves the needle. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who could use a little inspiration. We've got more content on how to optimize your time and mindset coming your way, including an upcoming video on top 5 time management tools successful people swear by. So stay tuned for that. As you go about your day, keep this in mind. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Every small intentional action you take today will set the course for where you end up tomorrow. Keep showing up, keep improving, and remember, you've got 24 hours. Make them count.